How are you? In today's video, I'm going to tell you about 6 food combinations, 6 things that you consume together which can interfere with or harm your diet, whether it's your immunity, your energy, your weight loss journey, or your muscle gain goals. So what are these combinations that are so bad for us? Stay with me until the end. You won't want to miss it. First of all, if you're new here, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I post new videos every day. You won't want to miss them. If you know someone who would like to learn more about these tips I'm about to share, go ahead and share this video with them. Let's work together, you and I, to expand this chain of good, because that's what I want most for this channel. I decided to make this video for you because we all know how important it is to eat certain foods, but many people forget that some food combinations, which on their own might even be relatively healthy, can become explosive combinations and can be very harmful to our health. So let's start our list. The first dangerous combination is cookies or crackers with juice. And it's not just the juice that we already know isn't very healthy because it's industrialized, comes in a box or bottle. Those you already know are full of sugar, preservatives, coloring agents. So the person decides to have a natural juice, a homemade orange juice, and pairs it with some crackers, maybe plain water crackers, or sometimes with oat and honey cookies. It seems healthy. When you look at the amount of simple carbohydrates of actual added sugar, it's really high. Even if you don't add sugar to your juice, sometimes a glass of orange juice has the same amount of carbohydrates as 3 slices of bread. Now imagine, on top of that, eating cookies or crackers. So be careful with these combinations of lots of simple carbohydrates, because that can be dangerous for you, because it makes you secrete a lot of insulin, which will store fat and can cause peripheral insulin resistance, the accumulation of abdominal fat. That's not what we want. The second really dangerous combination for your health and well-being is bread with jam. It's very common for people to eat bread with jam. It's a tasty snack. Sometimes people have it for breakfast, toast with jam. And even if it's whole wheat bread, 7-grain bread, preservative-free bread, bread with more fiber, but when you actually analyze it proportionally, the amount of fiber isn't that high. And when you look at the amount of jam people put on that bread, on that toast, there's actually more carbohydrate in the jam than in the bread itself. So be careful with bread and jam. Once again, it's going to be a large amount of carbohydrates. It will trigger a lot of insulin release, which isn't good for your health. So what can you do to improve this? You can make your own jam at home. You can prepare the jam by adding chia seeds, adding flaxseed to increase its fiber content, and without adding sugar during preparation. Just use mashed fruit. You can cook it or leave it raw, depending on your preference, and add one of these healthy seeds. I even have a video here on the channel talking about different types of seeds you can add to your diet to improve your health, increase fiber, get healthy fats, and lower the glycemic index. Or you can replace jam with something else. You can substitute it with avocado mayo, flaxseed mayo, a cheese spread with ricotta or cottage cheese, for example, which provide more protein or healthy fats, thus improving the carbohydrate ratio of the bread, which is already a significant source of carbs, in relation to the topping you add to the bread or the filling of your sandwich. This one might surprise you. It's the combination of salad with a low-fat dressing. Many people who are trying to lose weight, or even those who want to gain muscle mass but don't want the calories to come from that fatty salad dressing, who don't want to consume more fat, are concerned about gaining muscle mass. Or they want to lose weight, so they use a dressing with a low amount of fat. Often, these are processed dressings, and you already know they're really not healthy because they usually have a lot of sodium, a lot of preservatives, a lot of coloring, a lot of stabilizers. So stay away from store-bought salad dressings. But then, some people make a salad dressing at home using just a few drops of lemon, salt, and black pepper to have with their salad. This isn't ideal for you, not just because of satiety, since fat usually makes us feel fuller, which helps improve the nutritional balance of the meal itself, but also because many vitamins, basically some vitamins, are fat soluble and need fat to be absorbed. So for example, if you eat a salad that has tomatoes or carrots or pumpkin, in other words, that contains beta-carotene, lycopene, these nutrients are fat soluble, meaning they dissolve in fat. If you don't consume any source of fat to help carry them, you won't be able to absorb as much of these nutrients as you could, so they'll just pass through your intestines and be excreted in your stool. What should you add to your salad? Any kind of fat? Not really. Avocado, flaxseed, chia, or even olive oil are good options for you to add to your dressing or mix into your salad so you can better absorb these nutrients. Another combination that surprises many people is yogurt with granola. That's because the vast majority of people don't eat that plain, natural, fat-free, unsweetened yogurt. They usually eat the yogurt that already comes blended with fruit, which in reality often isn't even real fruit. It's fruit essence with sugar, sugar syrup, fructose syrup, and on top of that, they add granola, which isn't a healthy granola either. The kind you make at home, like the recipe I have here, I'll put it down below in the description for you. It's that granola we buy in a package at the supermarket, which is loaded with honey, or fructose syrup, or brown sugar. So usually it's a large amount of carbohydrates with a high glycemic index, which will cause another insulin spike once again. So if you want to make this combination in a healthier way, choose to consume, as I mentioned, natural yogurt, unsweetened, unflavored, just plain white, and add a healthy granola. I'll leave my healthy granola recipe down below for you, which even helps with losing belly fat. You'll love it. Another combination that often misleads people is bread with cold cuts, mortadella, ham. People think it's fine because sometimes they're using whole wheat bread, sometimes white bread, or French bread. But they're adding a bit of protein, so they think this will improve the glycemic index issue because the protein will help. But these processed meats usually have low biological value protein. They're not complete proteins, and they contain a large amount of saturated fat or trans fat. And on top of that, these industrialized processed meats usually contain curing salt. They have nitrite in their composition, so they're potentially carcinogenic. I even talk more about this in a video I recorded about the most pro-carcinogenic foods that exist, according to science. So I'll leave the link down below in the description for you, but be careful because these are potentially dangerous foods for our health. I have a video here on the channel where I make a homemade chicken mortadella, super healthy, without coloring, without preservatives, without chicken stock, without any of that. It's super easy, you can make it at home, and it's a good way for you to enjoy that mortadella you like. Another potentially very dangerous combination is peanuts with beer. This is a classic for people who want to watch a football game or are at a barbecue waiting for the food, chatting with friends at happy hour, and they have peanuts with beer. Many people think that beer among alcoholic beverages is the mildest. We need to stop thinking this way because beer, besides containing alcohol, and alcohol actually has more calories than carbohydrates or protein. Each gram of alcohol contains 7 calories, while each gram of carbohydrate or protein has 4. So the calorie content of alcohol is already quite high. Beer, in addition to alcohol, also contains carbohydrates. That's why people say beer gives you a belly, because it really affects insulin secretion. On top of that, when we eat peanuts along with it, especially those peanuts with that salty, crunchy coating packed with carbs and salt, they make you thirstier, which leads you to drink even more beer. So, in addition to drinking more, you'll be consuming more salt, you'll get more bloated. It's a recipe for disaster. And you, now tell me down here in the comments, which of these combinations surprised you the most? I know there's always one that we never imagined was so bad. Tell me down here, I want to know which of these will be the hardest for you to give up or to change. Is there any other combination that you think is bad for you? Are you unsure? Leave it for me down here in the comments. I'll love to read your comment here on the channel. Share this video with anyone you know who will benefit from this information. Let's work together, you and I, to expand this chain of good, because that's what I want most here with the channel. Give this video a like, it really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I have lots of tips on nutrition, health, and fitness, and I make all kinds of recipes that are cheap, easy, quick, and super healthy. You won't want to miss them. See you next time. Bye.